Hey everybody, C-Note here. Welcome to DOPEamine. My name is Christian Rivera, aka C-Note, and you are watching DOPEamine, all about mental health, empowerment. And on this YouTube channel, I specifically help INTPs connect to themselves and the universe and try to be a little bit more grounded, but then also, intellectually growing and changing and just trying to coach INTPs to be the best version of themselves, whatever that means for you. You can always hit me up at Let's Go C-Notes on all the social channels, and I've got links below to like email signups and my cosmic calibration program and all of that fun stuff. So today on the show, I wanted to talk to you about closing loops, because INTPs get probably the most satisfaction for closing loops. So what does that mean? That means when you start a project and you've got all sorts of big things going on, closing loops, meaning finishing something, meaning getting to a sense of satisfaction, a sense of closure, is going to be incredibly satisfying for an INTP. Now, I know it's like cliche for an INTP to be the type that is similar to ADHD in that we start a ton of projects and we don't finish them, but that also leads a lot of INTPs to not feeling great about themselves because we are not closing those loops. Closing the loops that we want to close, not necessarily all of them, allows us to feel good about, the work that we're doing. So if you think about it in cognitive function form, introverted thinking is what we use to close those loops. We do the work, we do the logical connection points, and then connect it to our SI or introverted sensing and allow us to be able to close those loops and do the work and get it done, put it on its shelf and move on to the next project. Now, our extroverted intuition, our second function, and if you don't understand these terms, there's other videos that I have that explains these functions. Our extroverted intuition is what allows us to open up new loops, right? New ideas. And it's not about closing all the loops and not having any more loops again, right? It's about getting into this flow, this process of opening and closing, open and close. So you get into situations in your life where you go out into the world and you experience new things and you come up with all these great new ideas or these big projects you want to work on. And those are opening loops. That's basically what that is. Ideas, concepts, projects, conversations, things that you need to do, situations you need to work on, stuff like that, right? And then you take your TI and you find slice and you find ways to close those loops and you do the hard work with your introverted sensing. And then you package all of that together and you put it out into the world, and that's your sort of like FE gift to society, is putting all of this together and you say, here, I made you something. And there is your basically, that's a closed loop. That's a finished product that is out into the world. And that sort of relates to just kind of getting things done, right? And I've talked about that in other videos as well, particularly the introverted sensing video, talked about the hard work that we have to do to get things done. And that's really part of the process of closing loops, right? Is this idea of taking our introverted thinking process, applying it to the outside world, our great sense of curiosity, taking in new ideas, coming up with new projects, opening loops, and then using our SI and TI together to close those loops, work in private or work with people, and find ways to get these projects finished, get them out into the world, and deliver them as gifts to society. I think of creativity as the desire to give back to reality, and I think that is a very INTP, inferior extroverted feeling statement, that all of the things that we work on, all of the things that we create, we package it together and then we put it out into the world like this beautiful Kamehameha and give it to reality. As a result of all of our challenges, our influences, everything that we experience, we create something out of it and then we put it into the world and give it as a gift to reality, right? So the challenge with closing loops is that we don't necessarily need to close all of the loops in our lives, right? So sometimes we start a project, it's not feeling good, it doesn't work out, and we just move on, and that's totally fine. But in this situation like I'm working on today, I usually film the month's videos on the same day, usually within an hour, right? Like 10-minute videos. And I was only gonna film one today because honestly, I'm a little bit hungover. I'm kind of in my depressive cycle right now. I'm very low energy, but once I got going, it's like getting on a treadmill and you're just like, all right, you know what? Let me finish this. I have this desire to close this loop. So I'm getting all of these videos done so I can close this particular loop. Then I can put it into my editing stuff on my computer and I can start to work on those particular loops as well, right? So with me being ADHD, it's extra important to fine slice and make sure that I'm breaking all of those projects into individual smaller loops, right? It's not about seeing your career as one big loop or something, right? It's about seeing all of these little things that you need to get done that you have to close the loops for. It looks like I was like milking cows or doing other things that are not appropriate. But closing all of these little tiny loops so that you can lead to the big picture of all of those loops, right? It's kind of like when I don't know if you've ever seen on an Apple Watch, I don't have an Apple Watch, but you can pretend it's there. There's like sort of like the fitness apps and stuff, there's like the loop or whatever. A lot of people get a ton of satisfaction from seeing that loop close. And when that loop closes, that means you've done your physical activity for the day, right? So for us as introverted thinkers, that means working on the projects we need to work on, doing the kind of research we need to do, or doing these YouTube videos, or doing something that's connective and part of, some of the big picture stuff we want to do. Knocking out paperwork, like little things that like we may see as innocuous and unimportant, but getting these things done is important, and ultimately it's satisfying. All of these things that are in our cognitive stack, our introverted thinking, our extroverted intuition, our introverted sensing and extroverted feeling, when you get into that flow state of doing all of those things, like I said, TINESIFE, doing all of those things in a row, which leads to this FE gift, you feel that charge, you feel that flow state, you feel like, I did this, I got it done, great. And it's not about just getting the one thing done, but it's like continuing to get into that flow to continue to make things, because there is no finish line. The only finish line is death. So we just keep making stuff. We keep contributing to reality. We keep putting something back into the world. That's just what we do. I think I do that more than a lot of INTPs. I think plenty of INTPs do create, but there are a lot of INTPs that kind of live a little bit more of a passive lifestyle. And that's okay too. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. So much as long as you're kind of getting into that flow state every once in a while, you're not going to get into a depressive, passive, non-connective state in your life. You're going to be contributing to reality. You're going to feel a sense of purpose. You're going to feel a sense of wanting to keep doing it, and wanting to nurture yourself in that way. That will lead to success. That will lead to great relationships. That will lead to a career that you really want. It'll lead to this sense of healing and health, and you'll want to take care of yourself. And you'll apply those things to taking care of yourself physically as well. That means eating good food, like making yourself a meal is considered a loop that you open and close, right? So thinking about it in those satisfaction kind of terms, that you're trying to open a loop and close it, I think that's a way for us as INTPs to listen to that compulsion that we have and satisfy that compulsion to close the loops that we have in our lives, so that we can, move on to the next project, right? It's about clearing space in your mind for new things. And I think sometimes when, we're kind of younger, I especially have experienced this when I was younger, it's really easy to cling to the comfort of not having to open new loops. Because if you don't open new loops, then you don't have to deal with new things. You don't have to do more work. But understanding that all of these things do give you energy. Like I went to a profiler training with my friends at Personality Hacker. They're a client of mine. And it was consistent that everyone, when we were doing embodiment exercises for the different personality types, for the different cognitive functions, people who had cognitive functions in their personality stack, they experienced an energetic boost from the function that they were using, no matter what place it was in their cognitive stack. So I know for INTPs that get stuck into a TI-SI loop, meaning you're getting into a comfort zone and not experiencing new things, like I understand that feeling, but also understand that getting into the outside world is not going to just rob you of energy. You have to find the situations where you're going to be able to be playful with people and experience new things and go experience novelty. It doesn't always have to include people. It just needs to be new. It just needs to be a different experience so that you can connect more dots, come up with new projects, and feel that energetic growth and interchange from that, right? So I challenge you to go do that. If you're someone that does not do a lot of new things, go to a restaurant that you've never been to before, try a new food, go down a different street than you've gone to before. If you're commuting and you have a work path that you go on every single day, a same commute every day, take a different street, just one street. That's all you have to do, is pick a different path every single day. Do something slightly different. Walk backwards in your room. Go, I don't know, do something crazy in circles and see what happens. Like I got an energetic boost just from doing something different right there, right? Like it's strange, but I promise you should try it as an INTP. Just do something that's a little bit different. Think about, I don't know if you've ever seen, I'm sure plenty of you have seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Or no, it was, I think it was Garden State. Yeah, it was Garden State with Natalie Portman's character, where she's like, I've never done this in this spot before. Like she's an ENFP, most likely. And the idea of extroverted intuition being her dominant, like she's naturally always trying to do new things. But because it's conscious for us, we're aware, I think, that we need to do something new, but we have to make the effort to go do something new, right? So making the effort to go do something new allows us to get that energy interchange. But we have this perception that interchange is not going to give us energy, it's just going to drain us. But I promise you, if you just try something, you do something different, you get a little crazy, you get a little wacky, I don't know, just let go of yourself. Don't think about it. Just go. Just do something weird and see what happens. You'll have fun. Just live your life. I don't know. I'm going to end the video like this. I love you guys. Go to DOPEamine.life, check out the podcast, and anchor.fm/DOPEamine, and subscribe to this channel, like, comment, let me know what you think, let me know if you have any questions, let me know what you think of this situation. I don't really know. There's like links and signups below for Cosmic Calibration and my email list, so you can get like updates on videos and podcasts and all the things. Sometimes I just write stuff and share it with you guys. I don't know, all that fun stuff. And then if you have any questions about coaching, hit me up at Let's Go C Note on all the social channels. So I have been C Note. This has been a ridiculous video. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll catch you next time on DOPEamine. See ya.